Welcome back to the hyperbolic coding chamber. We are in a festive month, and as for that reason, we now have a Sailor Moon fit. So this is some legendary drip that we have access to. Only top members in the Discord have access to the Sailor Moon shirt. So you're going to want to join the Discord and receive a complimentary Sailor Moon shirt. So you might want to do that because it's pretty epic, very expensive, and all the top tech CEO, all the top big tech CEOs, as well as workers, as well as musicians, are also going to be wearing this shirt. So if you want to get a limited edition, you should hop in the Discord, and yeah, it'll be pretty epic. So that being said, we have some comments to get through. Oh no, actually, that being said, we have a legendary, absolutely, also my screen is very small, a legendary, absolutely legendary quote from, we have a legendary quote. I'm going to find it. We have a legendary quote today from Sylvia Plath from The Bell Jar. Top 10 writers, top 2 writers, and she's not 2, she's number 1. It goes like this. I saw my life branching out before me like the green fig tree in the story. From the tip of every branch, like a fat purple fig, a wonderful future beckoned and winked. One fig was a husband and a happy home and children. Another fig was a famous poet, and another fig was a brilliant professor. Another fig was an amazing editor. Another fig was around Europe and Africa and South America. Another fig was Constantine and Socrates and Attila and a pack of other lovers. Another fig with more offbeat professions. Another fig was an Olympic lady crew champion. Beyond and above these fig trees were many more figs I couldn't quite make out. I saw myself sitting in the crotch of this fig tree, starving to death, just because I couldn't make up my mind for which of the figs I would choose. I wanted each and every one of them, but choosing one meant losing all the rest. And as I sat there, unable to decide, the figs began to wrinkle and go black, and one by one, they plopped to the ground at my feet. This is legendary wordplay from Sylvia Plath herself. So this quote is basically the meaning of life, basically. Quick TLDR, the figs are all the paths, potential branches, and, ways to end up with a life, happy home, profession, professor, Attila, pack, war, conquest, death, destruction. And she sits below this tree, ogling all the figs, but unable to decide which one to choose. She ends up eating none of them, and they all wilt and die. There's also another parable, I think. This one's a lot shorter, and I think it gets across the same thing. I think the same parable exists with the horse parable, and I think it goes something like there's a horse, right? A horse that is both dehydrated and overwhelmingly hungry. And the horse sits exactly in the median point. Actually, no, the horse is not dehydrated let me restart. I'm just making up nonsense. The horse is not dehydrated and hungry. But basically, the horse is standing pretty much in the median point between a nice, beautiful flowing river, as well as some, on the other side of the horse lives some hay or fruit, whatever horses eat. And basically, the horse is sitting in between these 2 points, and someone walks by and they says, why don't you have either the river or the foods? And the horse sits there pretty much looking back and forth between the river and the food, and is unable to choose which one to do first. And pretty much the moral of the story is that the horse dies of starvation and dehydration because it could not choose whether or not to drink first or to eat first. And it's not quite the same as Sylvia Plath's story, but I think it really pulls at the main moral of today, which is indecision, destiny, fate, work ethic, choice, mourning, and suffering. And I think there's another good Hacker News comment that mentions this. There's another good Hacker News comment. I think, not another, but there's a comment someone wrote, I think I read the other day, and I think it went something like, part of growing up is mourning the parts of your, or part of growing up is mourning is also part of growing up is also about mourning who you could have been. Which is pretty deep. Hashtag deep. But yeah, all this to say, lots to think about in the grand scheme of the cosmic expansion. So interesting to see where this cosmic laundromat will leave us, either clean or used and dried up in the laundry pan. Maybe the washing machine doesn't work. All this to say, I read that quote and I thought it was pretty dope, because I'm thinking about doing another daily thing, and there's something about the daily challenge that seems to work very well with my brain. I'm not exactly certain why, but I think there's something about regularly failing that seems to keep me moving forward. Ultimately, long-term goal, I'd like to create more than I consume, but it'll be a miracle if that actually happens. So I'd like to do some other things too. I'd like to do some. I've already released some games, but they're not any of the games that I'd play myself. And I've made some animations, but they're not anything that I would watch myself. So I'm not exactly certain which way the tide will take us, but it is just to say that choosing to do LeetCode was one of the figs, because I felt like I had to choose, 800 however number of days ago, it felt like I had to choose between LeetCode and all these other things. I chose LeetCode, and it turns out I've been able to make it work with everything that happens, and it actually turns out the hardest part is actually just starting. So I'm certain we might not become a grandmaster in 1 year or 2 years, but I'm fairly certain we'll get there eventually. Knowing that, it seems to me just a matter of patience at this point. But other things I would like to do as well that I'm not exactly certain I have the patience for. So yeah, I don't know. I was just reading that Sylvia Plath quote, and it really hit the spot. So it really do be like that. I think especially with social media and all that stuff, I'm sitting on the internet and I'm watching the top sculptors, the top, pretty much you can imagine any niche category. You can see it on social media in the blink of an eye. And so even then, I think now the possible buckets that you could choose from, just, compared to 2001, you probably just chose some sum of, everything you were exposed to, which wasn't a lot. Right now we have so much exposure, kind of cool, but also paralyzation of choice. So I think the Sylvia Plath analogy really is, there's something there. So it'd be interesting to see what other people think about it. But that besides the point, we have some legendary comments from some legendary humans. Shout out to ADC, who actually joined the Discord yesterday or today, but legendary human being. Also, the day number is wrong, which is true. I'll have to fix that. You the realist. Please do Advent of Code. Should we do Advent of Code? We'd lose LeetCode time. I have to admit, I have to reveal it. I have a contract with the LeetCode devs. I have to do an hour of LeetCode every day. So they actually, I was going to say they have my family tied up, but they don't. But we have to do a little bit of LeetCode every day. But I don't know how we'd make it work. The only reason we're not doing Advent of Code, I planned to do Advent of Code, I think like 60 days ago. But then I started considering doing another daily thing. So then it kind of, So we'll just have to see. We're already a few days behind, but from what I hear, the first couple problems aren't too bad. I really want to. Maybe we should just do it anyway and take a break from LeetCode, but I couldn't imagine it. It's all practice in the end, too. So, I don't know. If we have a legendary comment from a very real Peter Peterson. I respect the hustle, 3 exclamation point. I have a busy day today, so I hope I can finish my daily task in LC today. Hey, I'm on right now. I hope you cook your task today. We gotta get to work. Yeah, true. Also, yeah. So that is true indeed. Other things, we've been stuck on a base conversion problem for an inordinate amount of time. This problem, I've spoken with the LeetCode devs. It's being removed from LeetCode, so we're all good on that front. That being the case, we're going to move forward with a new problem. We're going to move forward with more problems to do, and hopefully we can make good progress. So, also, the base conversion problem is nonsensical. It acts as if it's base 26, but it's really a base 26, but the 0th symbol is actually 1. I don't really get it. We'll come back to it in 6 months. We have 400 more problems to go. Maybe we'll be unstoppable by then, but I'm just going to jump into the LeetCode portion right now. So we have an hour. Let us begin the suffering. So we have unique Morse code set up. We're going to do concatenation, verifying alien dictionary, minimum cost, k weakest rows, unique email address. So hopefully we can do these. So we're going to start with international Morse code defines a standard encoding where each letter is mapped to a series of dots and dashes as follows. A maps to dot dash, B maps to dash dot dot dot, C maps to dash dot dash dot, and so on. For convenience, the full table for the 26 letters of the English alphabet is shown below. Given an array of strings where each word can be written as a concatenation of the Morse code of each letter, for example, cab can be written as this, which is a concatenation of C, A, and B. Okay. We would call such a concatenation the transformation of a word. Return the number of different transformations among all words we have. Return the number of, we call, for example, can be written as cab, which is a concatenation of C, A, and B. We would call such a concatenation and B is, okay. We would call such a concatenation transformation of word. Return the number of different transformations among all words we have. What does that mean? The number of different transformations. Jin is this. Zen is. How are Jin and Zen the same? Nah, something's off here. If each letter maps to a specific location, for a specific set of dots and dashes, then how is it possible that 2 3-letter words could be have the same output? A, B, C. Let me grab this whole thing. This is not making any sense to me. Maybe we'll do sets of 3 instead. For some reason, I keep skipping to the end. So we'll just do 3 sets. Maybe if we can see it like this, it'll make sense. So this should be A. Should have A, B, C, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, W, X, Y. Hey, we messed up here. Oh, we forgot D. Yikes. D, E, F. Then we have Y and Z. So if we check gin, G would be dash. G would be dash dash I dot. I is dot dot and N is dash dot. And if we check Z, well, Z is dash dash dot dot. Oh, I see. I see. That's actually really clever. Yeah, the words are all separate. The words are all That's actually really clever. Yeah, the letters all map to unique combinations, but because it's just dots and dashes, you can end up with similar. Okay. All right, then I don't think the problem's that bad. All we'd have to do is convert each letter to its Morse code version, and then we can just return the set. So we can just say convert each word to Morse code, then put into set. And then once we do that, I think we can just return the set size. So yeah, if that's the case, then we can just do our set, and it's just going to be a new set of string. We'll return set.size. And then for here, we can say for const word of words. We'll just iterate over each letter. We'll say for code is equal to an empty string set.add code. So what we'll do is for letter of word, we're just going to do code plus equal, and then we can just say we want to map the letter to Morse code. So I think if we just do letter to lowercase minus 65, so we do letter to lowercase, which should give us the ASCII code 65. And then we should have something like to car code. There used to be some complete here. There should be to car code. I forgot what it's called. Let me check. JS2 car code. Oh wait, I think it's It's car at. So say car at 0 since it's a letter. Oh no, it's car code at. And then we'll subtract it 65, and then we'll pretty much just shove this into Morse. Should make A 0. Let me see each code it's producing. Morse subletter. Okay, so I think we're having a small issue here, but we should be able to just fix this real quick. I'm not exactly certain why it's giving me so much issue here. It's probably because it's not car code at. I should probably check what this is called. JS get string. Oh no, it's too uppercase. Uppercase, oh man, yeah. Uppercase A starts at 65. So that's my bad. Yeah, it's unfortunate we had to fix that. This would take O of S, basically, where S is the sum of the characters in the word array, and the space would be O of N at the worst case, because I'm sure there's a string of words you could put in here where every character in the set, every value in the set would be unique. Yeah, it's unfortunate we spent time on the two lowercase part. But yeah, it's unfortunate. It'll say it will go to unique email address. Every valid email consists of a local name and a domain name. Every valid email consists of a local name and a domain name, separated by the @ sign. Besides lowercase characters, the email may contain one or more. Besides lowercase letters, the email may contain one or more dots or pluses. For example, in alice@LeetCode.com, Alice is the local name. Alice is the local name. And LeetCode.com is the domain name. If you had periods between some characters in the local name, part of an email address, mail sent there will be forwarded to the same address without. Oh yeah, right. Dots don't exist in emails. This rule does not apply to domain names. For example, alice.z@LeetCode.com and alice@LeetCode.com forward to the same email. If you had a plus to in the local name, everything after the first plus sign will be ignored. This allows certain emails to be filtered, but this rule does not apply to domain names. Right. It is possible to use both of these rules at the same time. Given an array of strings emails where we send one email to each email sub I, return the number of different addresses so it's test.email and test email and test email David. So it just should be test email and test. No, pluses, everything after pluses gets ignored. Right, and then we have 3 different emails here. Email sub I consists of lowercase English letters. Each email sub I contains exactly 1 @ character. Local names do not start with a plus character. Domain names end with a .com suffix. All local and domain names are non-empty. These are good cases. I think we could do that. I think we'd still have the same thing we did last time, where we'd have a set of strings and we return set.size at the end. Seems like we want to do for const email of emails convert email to valid convert email, filter out email nonsense, and then we pretty much do set.add clean email. Now I think we could do this with regex, but then I think the time complexity, it's hard to know the time complexity, so I'd rather do something like we could have a function like clean email or something, and it would just return a string. We could return cleaned, and maybe we can just filter out the nonsense. So basically, dots get ignored, everything after a plus gets ignored. Capture everything but, so we can say capture everything but periods. Capture everything ignoring periods, stop at, plus, skip everything till we find @ sign, capture everything. You can't stop at plus. Oh yeah, we'll stop at plus and then we'll skip everything until we find the @ sign. So I think we can do this in a loop. We could do for let I is equal to 0, I is less than email.length, I plus plus. What we'll say is if email sub I equals @ or if it equals plus, it'd actually be easier if we do a while loop instead. If email sub I is equal to plus, right, then we want to skip everything till we find the @ sign. So we can just have another while loop that says while s sub I does not equal @ right, we're just going, I mean not s, while emails, so we're just going to keep going forward and do I plus plus. Then we're going to have the other else if, right? Else if email sub I does not equal a period, if email sub I does not equal a period, then we can just add it to the cleaned email. And it looks like we might just remove this. And we'll just do cleaned plus equal email sub I. Now before we do all this extra stuff, it might just make more sense to do clean email and pass in, or we could just run it actually. Then we won't really able to see that it's working though. So I'm just gonna run console.log clean email. So we have test, right? Email sub I doesn't equal plus, so doesn't equal dot either, so we'll do test est. It's going to equal dot, so we're going to skip that. And we're going to get email, then we're going to get plus, and then we're going to want to skip until we reach @ sign, for which we'll add it to the @ sign to the end. And then at the end, we're going to want to be able to accept .com. So we can have something like false, I'll say local name finished equal true. And this is a little we almost passed all the test cases. So here we output 2. Yeah, we should be out. Oh no. Oh no, yeah. Yeah, we should be outputting 1 here. This one's a little sticky because we do want to add the @ sign, but we can if we just make this an else if, and then we can just duplicate both of these lines here. I don't need to check what's actually, yeah, let's see what's in the set. But I feel like we should have solved it without doing that. If emo sub I is equal to plus, then we want to skip everything while emo sub I does not equal @. Once it equals @, we stop and we add @ sign to the end. Now local name is finished. Yeah, so we're ending it with 2 ats. If I remove local name, finished equals true. Then we don't get the emo sub I does not equal dot. Emo sub I does not equal dot. We can fix this. It's just kind of messy. We could have something like previous care. This would turn it on at a different point. So we'll pretty much say, if you're in domain name, then you can add all the dots you want. And the other thing we'll do is to make sure that if email, right, I -1 equals an @ sign, then we'll say in domain. I'm not following why there's oh, I forgot a period. How did we lose the time limit on this? I don't understand. Link Mafia. Time limit exceeded. It should be linear time. Maybe they want us to use regex. Link Mafia. Then we get to the @. Oh. I think what we need to do is remove the need to find a plus exactly, and then the or case would just be or email does not equal dot and email sub I does not equal plus. And then we'll keep this up top. If email sub I equals. Oh, never mind. The other thing was fine. I'm pretty sure the other one was fine. It was just that I need to say and you're not in domain. Yeah, that was my bad. I didn't realize. Yeah, let me. Yeah, this would just be O of S, where S is the number of is sum of all the characters in the string. Constants. Oh, it's probably not constant, or maybe O of maybe O of N in the worst case if we have N distinct emails. This is strange though. I think you could do this with regex though. So if we swapped everything out of cleaned email, I think you could just do email dot match pretty much everything could say plus dot star Actually, let me see something. All right, uncomment this. And we'll say to only capture we'll say to only capture this if it's not followed by a plus. Or I don't remember the it's called a negative look ahead, but I don't remember. Let me see. Negative look ahead. Oh. Wait, I think I'm doing it right. I think I'm doing the look ahead, the negative look ahead right, at least. Oh, I'm changing what I'm I'm changing what I'm logging. Yeah, that's why I thought. That's why I escaped it with the backslash. Maybe I can remove these parentheses. Yeah, maybe the regex portion of this problem is a trap. Or we could do it something simpler. What if we did something like, or erase cleaned up here, and we'll say cleaned is equal to email.replace like a literal plus right that stops before an @ sign. Or we'll do a forward look ahead and say that's followed by an @ sign. Okay, we keep all our @ signs. And then we can do dot replace. We can do another one where we'll say from the start of the string up until we find an @ sign. We'd like to replace anything that ends at an @ sign but starts with a literal. Oh no, this is only running once, so let's just do /g. You know what? We're gonna let the regex solution go. I'm just gonna check out what it would have been like. That's true. Splitting them is one way. That definitely makes it cleaner. Yeah, the split was clever. The split is definitely clever. I have to consider that next time. And then we'll do k weakest rows. You're given an m by n binary matrix mat of ones representing soldiers and zeros representing civilians. The soldiers are positioned in front of civilians. That is, all the ones will appear to the left of all the zeros in each row. A row I is weaker than row J if one of the following is true. Number of soldiers in row I is less than number of soldiers in row J. And both rows have the same number of soldiers. Both rows have the same number of soldiers and I is less than J. Return the indices of the k weakest rows in the matrix ordered from weakest to strongest. So you have the matrix of ones. The number of soldiers in each row is 2, 4, 1, 2, and 5, which is based on the number of ones. Row I is weaker than row J if one of the following is true. Why did I click that? I don't understand. Sometimes I do that by just unconsciously. Yeah, it's kind of strange here is it's hard to know the relative ordering because the ordering is, we have to sort them, but the ordering is based on the order they're currently in. Number of soldiers in row I is less than number. So if we look at row 0, the rows ordered from weakest to strongest are 2, 0, 3, I think the answer to this, without looking at the answer, should be 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. Oh. Oh, no. Yeah. This one being the last one. It feels like we could just sort them based on the number of soldiers they have, and then if two rows have, and then for all the rows that have the same number of soldiers, we'll sort, well, they'll get the order, they'll be sorted by their appearance order. We'll call this annotated rows. We'll do mat dot map row, and we'll get the index for that row, and we'll just turn it into an array with an array of tuples. From here, we can sort annotated rows. Actually, we can't do that. Here we'll count the civilians. We'll say 4. Civilians plus equal 1. Here we can then sort annotated rows from weakest to strongest by sorting by the civilians. I'm not getting any type information. I wonder if something's up. Usually we get type information when we hover. Oh. Then now we can finally print annotated rows. And it should be mostly there. So these cases are a little, I need to change them to be a little harder. I don't think this is going to work. There must be some edge case we're missing or something, because I don't think this would work. Wow, I guess I was overthinking that. Maybe the test cases they have aren't flames. Because it seems very possible that you could create one where this wouldn't pass. Let me see. If we gave all the soldiers, if we gave them all the same number of soldiers, maybe since they're all the same, maybe it worked because Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm not exactly certain why this works.
The Python version makes sense because they sort based off both the first and the second value.
But yeah, we'll stop there.